So this is the 1917 BSA #1 Mark III that I have broken down. You can see the bolt, it's in pretty good shape, as well as the firing pin and the spring. The top handguard is missing the two little pieces of wood there. What's interesting is that it has a early magazine. That's what that little switch is for. The top handguard here looks pretty good. Just some worn finish there on the metal. You can see on the inside it's pretty dirty. The forestock's also really dirty. Cleaner than the other one though, it's just back towards the rear portion here. It's just gotten a lot of dirt. It looks like little bugs. Here's a closer look at that stock damage there. You can see there's some cracks and looks like a little bit of wood rot back here, so I'll take a look at that. Underside of the barrel here is pretty dirty, but it looks like a lot of the original finish is still there. You can see those little bugs. I haven't gotten the butt stock off yet. There's something blocking access to the stock bolt. It feels like a patch or something, so I have to dig that out with some forceps before I can get to it. It's hard to see, but stamped England there. And on the other side there's a FTR stamp, which means that this went through a factory repair at some point in its life. And I might be able to get the date if it's stamped on the barrel once I clean it off. I'm going to work on getting this buttstock off. I'll probably have to pull that patch out of there in order to get to the stock bolt. One of my other Enfields, I did find this inside of it, and the stock basically plugged in there, so it's probably something similar to that, just blocking access to the stock bolt. So go ahead and start cleaning this up, and I'll do a video of some of these parts once they're cleaned up. So got the barrel in action all cleaned up, so go ahead and take a closer look at it. You can see it's got the marking for BSA. So you have basically for King George, BSA company, 1917 shortly, and it's a Mark III star. The star was like their austerity pattern, where certain features were removed, like the magazine cut off, and kind of had a design that streamlined production. You can see there's the FTR mark for factory repair. You can see it's in pretty good shape. You can see it was refinished. Has like that late World War II, post-war finish on it. Almost looks like paint. You can see that the serial numbers match. And overall, you can see that the finish is pretty good where the wood line was covering it. It's a pretty decent finish there. Let's go ahead and flip it over. Continuing on the other side, you can see it has a cut off England stamp there. That refers to the factory repair. I put some chalk in here, not for the import mark, but you can kind of make out that they did the import mark over an FTR stamp. So you can see it says FTR 1952. So that's when this had its factory repair done, basically re-arsenaled. And you can see there's a lot of proof stamps here. So BNP is the British Nitro proof, and you can see the 18.5 tons stamped there. It's part of its proofing process. And a date. It looks like a little hard to make out, but that might be a, I don't know if that's a 2 or what, but 1945. So this was had another proofing done in 45. I assume they probably put a new barrel on it, but hard to say. And you can see the broad arrow mark, which signifies it was property of the British government. More proof marks there. And on top of the barrel, it looks like it was stamped a couple times with the same stamp. Kind of hard to make out what that is. That might be 39. So hard to see. You can see another broad arrow there. Now at the rear sight, you can see the serial number there, matches the rifle. And just overall, pretty good finish on this. It's definitely a post-World War II, late World War II finish. It was put on this, likely when it was sent to do the FTR in 1952. So looking at the stock, came out pretty nicely. You can see the buttstock. Really good condition. Same with the top handguard parts here, as well as the forestock. And then flipping all the other parts. You can see they're pretty clean. Still have a little bit more work to do on them, but what I like to do is I just like letting the oil kind of work its way in there and loosen up some of the kind of hardened crud that's in there. This crack is a bit of a concern for shooting. It does go all the way through, and it kind of runs right here, and firing it might cause that crack to get worse. So I have to keep an eye on that. And shooting this rifle, I might just kind of take the safe road until I figure that out and just swap out the forestock with another one. You can see it's still a little dirty in here, so I'm going to have to kind of brush this out. But overall, it looks a lot better than when I received it, especially here, and the inlay for the barrel is just much cleaner. It's pretty dirty and dry when I got it. Here's the 1917 BSA, reassembled and cleaned. Take a closer look at it. Butt plate cleaned up really nicely. See, the stock's in pretty good shape. See, the marking came out really well. See the FTR stamp too. Magazine looks pretty good. It definitely looks like this was wire wheeled. I can kind of see the marks in the magazine, as well as you can see looks like some scratches on the wood. I also think that if this was bare metal like this and it was stored that way, that there'd definitely be some patina on that, or rust. But that looks like it's fresh. See the serial number and the broad arrow mark. wood here definitely is kicked up a bit. There's the nose cap. The buttstock looks pretty good. This could also be a sign that it was wire wheel. Just if any wire wheel came down here, it might have scratched the stock up a little bit here, but it may not be the case. On this side of the magazine, you can definitely see, looks like scratches from a wire wheel, just right across here. And some scratches on the wood. I think I saw a video recently, I think it was from Navy 98, but he confirmed with Royal Tiger that the Africans did use wire wheels on these before they were sent to the US, so it's definitely a practice that had been done. He was told that they stopped the practice, but certain there's plenty of rifles that have been wire wheeled. And you can see here, the other side of the nose cap. You can kind of make out some faint scratches on the nose cap too. So overall, a pretty good example for a B grade. The bore looks pretty good too, so take a look at that. So it definitely functions well, and the bore looks pretty good. So it's not bad for a B grade. However, a lot of this wear to the finish was done before being shipped to the US. So a lot of this wear could have been prevented if they hadn't wire wheeled it, but I'd say overall it's still a pretty good buy for the price that they're selling them at. So hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. I have a few more videos coming out soon going over some of my collections. So if you'd like to be notified about those, feel free to subscribe. Thank you for watching.